how could it be possible for sentient beings who are like illusions or objects that are like reflections to be either pleasant or unpleasant? In the sutras, Shakyamuni Buddha taught desire is perfectly pure, and therefore forms are perfectly pure. In what way? They are all empty. They are equal in their emptiness. I, this table, Umze, over here, are all equal in that we have emptiness. There's no way the table has more emptiness. Emptiness is a fixed, unchanging phenomenon. It's a non-affirming negative. It's a mere lack. A mere lack of self-existence. If the self doesn't have any inherent existence, and if external phenomenon doesn't have inherent existence, then it would follow that pleasantness and unpleasantness, that is the reaction to certain phenomenon, doesn't have inherent existence. There's no basis. All this phenomena are like a city of Gandharvas, kind of like a mirage. In ancient India, there were these cities of beings. When you get close to them, they disappear. But from far away, it appears as if there's a city of these beings, like illusions. Emptiness is the same way. It's illusory like. It's not a total illusion the way reality functions, because it's conventional. It conventionally functions. It appears. You can see a perfect appearance as you go through your life. Your mind functions day to day, and your body, you can get up, you can eat, you can walk around. Everything functions nicely. But they lack an inherent existence. Chapter 23, verse 10. We imagine something to be pleasant based on our idea of what is unpleasant. But unpleasant too does not exist, independent of pleasant. Therefore, for pleasant to truly exist would be impossible. Pleasant, unpleasant is a dependent phenomenon. You can't know the concept of something that is pleasant unless you know unpleasant. Similarly with light and dark, short and long, good and bad, these are dependent phenomena. They lack an inherent existence. They cannot support themselves. Chapter 23, verse 11. We imagine something to be unpleasant based on our idea of what is pleasant. But pleasant too does not exist, independent of unpleasant. Therefore, for unpleasant to truly exist would be impossible. Master Nagarjuna is just dumbing it down for the rest of us. unpleasant can't exist without a concept of pleasant. Similarly, pleasant can't exist without a concept of unpleasant. These two things are mutually dependent upon one another. In that way, they are dependently originated phenomena. The highest understanding of dependent origination would take this cup, my beloved cup, of McDonald's premium roast coffee. Can't go wrong. The highest understanding of dependent origination is this cup can't exist for me unless there's a designation, a mental designation. Some Buddhist schools say this cup has an inherent existence. From its own side, it has a sheen of cupness, which my mind picks up and understands it. From its side, it has a sign, a clue, hints of cupness. Some Buddhist schools say that cup's dependent origination is the fact that it's based on various causes and conditions. And when these causes and conditions extinguish, we don't know cup anymore. Cup ends. Some Buddhist schools' understanding of the dependent origination of a cup says that it's dependent upon its various parts. That within its parts you can't really find the cup. There's a top, a bottom, there's a lid, there's a I don't even know what you call that. But and different Buddhist schools have different understanding what its emptiness is. Swatantrika would say, we accept that, Swatantrika actually would say that this cup has a kind of self-existence. They don't call it that. They say that there's a cupness out there. And then my mind labels that cup. Other schools believe that this cup in my mind come from the same karmic seed or impression. Mind-only school. Kind of like it's a part of my mind. One of the first arguments against that is that then if somebody crushed the cup, you'd get a headache. If that were a part of my mind. The highest understanding of emptiness is that this cup it's a moot point whether this cup exists out there on its own side or not, from its own side or not, because ultimately this cup will not exist for me unless I have very specific seeds that create mental images in my mind that allow me to know cup, drink, cup. We have a little doggy at home that's not so little anymore, Cinnamon Girl, and to this would be just another chew thing, because they don't have that image of a cup to drink from. Then there are some Buddhist schools that go halfway. They'll say, we get you about the whole part thing. We got you that there's no cup within its parts, but the parts exist. The top of the cup exists, the bottom of the cup exists. You can't say that, you can't be talking crazy that the parts don't have a kind of self-existence. And they would say, just analyze it, reduce it. What about the top of the top, and the bottom of the top? And then reduce it down to the top of the top, and the middle of the top, and the bottom of the top of the top. You can reduce and reduce and reduce and still not find any cupness in there. Reductionism.